You have so many extensions to choose from Supabase to Atlassian to Sentry and more, and we're going to keep adding more to it at the extension marketplace so it's as expansive as our user base. And you can be a part of that because you can build your own extensions as well. But all of this choice goes beyond extensions. It even goes beyond VS Code. Ooh. We're coming to you, Apple developers. GitHub Copilot is available in Xcode today. Today in public preview, devs who build for the Apple ecosystem can now leverage the power of GitHub Copilot as they develop, test, and deploy. No matter where you work, whether you work on mobile, on desktop, remotely on github.com, or locally on your machine, we're working to make your life simpler and easier, leaving you the agency to make your own choices. Okay, that is all from me today. Thank you so much. There's more where that came from.
Please welcome Tim Rogers.
Thank you. Hello, GitHub Universe. I'm Tim Rogers, and I'm a product manager on GitHub Copilot. We already talked today about multi-model choice for GitHub Copilot. So naturally, what I think we should do is double down on that. Let's talk about even more, you guessed it, models. Code is no longer the only primitive necessary to build software. In this new creator network, developers are building on even higher layers of abstraction, with models large and small. To help us all stay up to speed, GitHub launched a new tool this summer called GitHub Models, an interactive playground for AI engineers to build applications right where their code is. With GitHub Models, you can go from model to playground to deployment in no time. We launched this summer with the latest and greatest in the industry. In our model marketplace, we're giving you some French je ne sais quoi with Mistral Large and Mistral Nemo. And it's not just big models. We're giving you some small language model love as well with Phi 3. Don't worry, little guy, you're just as cool as the grown-ups. And I love this one. We're giving you open intelligence with Meta's Llama suite, or should I say herd, of models. I swear, a year ago, I thought a llama was just a sassy camel. But now I use Llama to build AI applications on the regular. And we haven't stopped there. Today, we're thrilled to share that we've added even more amazing models to the platform, from Cohere Command to Bria AI to OpenAI O1, putting everything you need right here on GitHub, where your code already lives. As you can tell, I'm kind of a nerd. So I'm going to nerd out right now and show you the power of GitHub Models live. Let's pick back up on Copilot Airways. So here at Copilot Airways, we want to inspire our customers with places they can travel to on our network. So we've built a travel guide on our website that features some top destinations. And for each of those destinations, we show a description, some highlights, just to provide that kind of inspiration. Now, I write reviews of every place that I travel to, including here in San Francisco. And I want to plot those models on this map. So to do that, I'm going to have to go through my long, flowery reviews and pull out that key information, so the description, the highlights, and figure out the coordinates. Now, one option would be to do that manually. I could go through all my reviews, I could put all that data into a spreadsheet and then put it into my app, but that's going to take a long time, and it seems like something that an LLM would be pretty good at. So let's head over to GitHub Models so we can explore and compare some LLMs that we might be able to use for that task. So we head over to the GitHub Marketplace and then click Models, and we get a list with a bunch of models that are available on the platform. We have filters to be able to go through them, but that can still be a little overwhelming, and it might be hard to know where to start. But what if Copilot could guide you and advise you on what model to use for what you want to do? Well, that's actually now possible with the App Models extension in Copilot Chat. With that extension, I can ask Copilot for advice, and it's going to use all that data in the model marketplace to help me to figure out what to do. Now, I want some of that French je ne sais quoi that I already talked about, so I'm going to ask for advice on what Mistral model would be appropriate for taking my reviews and extracting JSON data for them. And you can see here that Copilot's come back with a bunch of recommendations. I'm going to go with the top one. I'm going to try Mistral Large and see how that goes. So let me pop down the chat. Then I'm going to filter for the right provider. And then I'm going to find Mistral Large. Once I actually click on the model, I get a bunch of useful information here about it in the README. I can see the training date, I can see the license, all that kind of stuff. But things get a bit more exciting when I head into the playground. In the playground, I can actually try out this model with my own prompts and my own parameters and see what it can do for me. Doubling down on that, though, things get even better when I use the compare feature. With the compare feature, I can easily run two models in parallel for the same task, and then I can see what one performs better for me. So it's really easy to compare and figure out what's right. So on the right-hand side that I've opened up, I'm going to pick Mistral Nemo, and that's just a smaller, faster model from the same provider. So my models are ready. Let me now get them set up with my prompts. To do that, I'm going to click on the Show Parameters Setting button. Then I'm going to add in my system prompt. All that system prompt does is basically explains to the model what I want it to do. So I'm just saying, go through my review and extract a certain set of JSON fields. That automatically gets applied to both sides, so it's really easy to compare the two models. Then I'm going to add my prompt, which is my review of San Francisco that I've written, which is, of course, very long and flowery. And now the magic happens. I hit Enter, and we're going to run through both of those models in parallel, and we can see what the results look like and compare them really, really easily. You might have noticed that the model on the right was significantly faster, and it actually looks like the results that we've got from both are pretty comparable. And given that the model on the right, Mistral Nemo, is the smaller, faster model and a bit cheaper as well, I'd probably choose to use that one, given that it seems to be appropriate for my task. So let's copy the JSON that the model generated from my review. Then I'm going to head over to VS Code and add it into my data for the map. And then we can head back to Copilot Airways. And there we go. We have San Francisco plotted on the map. Perfect. Easy. So what we've proven so far is that Mistral Nemo can do what we want it to do. It can go through my review, and it can figure out the JSON data to put it onto the map. Now, what if I actually wanted to implement that in my application and build an integration to go through all of my reviews and extract that data? Well, that's easy with GitHub Models as well. I can flip into the Code tab, and then I can easily pick my language of choice and get a copy and paste code sample that's going to make it really easy to interact with that model and start using it for real. You might notice here as well that I'm actually just using my GitHub token for authentication. So I don't have to sign up for any new services or jump through any hoops. I can just get started super, super quickly, which is a really powerful thing. Then, when I'm ready to go to production, I can just hit the Get API key button, and then I can easily get a key for Azure AI, which will have higher rate limits and something that I can scale for real. One more thing that I want to show you before we finish. On GitHub Models, as well as the models we've been looking at here, we also have what are called multimodal models. That's a lot of M's, but what multimodal means is models that can accept images as well as text. So let's try that and see how it goes. So I'm going to use the tags filter to find multimodal models. Then I'm going to pick OpenAI's GPT-4o Mini, which is one of those models. And I'm going to click into the playground. Now let's give it an image. I'm going to give an image of the Golden Gate Bridge that I took over this weekend. And then I'm going to ask the model a really simple question. Describe what you see in this image. One word, no yapping. And there we go. The answer from artificial intelligence, bridge. Perfect. That's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Artificial intelligence can do all of this. As you can see, we're extending the GitHub multiverse. And I'm so excited to share today that GitHub Models, including the App Models extension, is available today to all GitHub users. With GitHub Models now available to all, you'll be able to access the playground, side-by-side comparison, and so much more with GitHub Models by your side. Now, more than 100 million developers in every country who started out building software just like me can become AI engineers. Sassy Camel, out.